gods came into being alongside the elements responsible for life in the universe. The Ethyrians were the manifestation of light, while the Pytronians were the manifestation of dark magic. The force that converted gases into stars and developed life-sustaining planets from barren rocks was responsible for the creation of light magic. The force that created dark holes and dark matter was responsible for the creation of dark magic. The gods were born from these forces, and, over time, evolved into the sentient beings that govern magic on planet Earth. Etheria knew that the laws of the universe required a harmonious balance between the forces of light and dark magic. Light magic used the principles of life and regeneration, while dark magic used the principles of limitation and order. Without dark magic, light magic would continue to produce until nothing could sustain itself. In galaxies, for example, life magic created stars, but dark magic kept them unified using dark matter and the gravitational pull of black holes. It was a perfected dance as old as time itself. The gods had been using magic to cultivate human development since the earliest civilizations, but now the human belief in magic had nearly all but vanished. Monotheistic religions, the belief in one supreme god, had replaced the worship of the many gods of magic. Although the lack of recognition bothered the Ethyrians, they were willing to accept that the era of magical worship had ended. The Pytronians, however, were not ready to let it go. They wanted reverence and sacrifice in their honor. After all the gods had done for humanity, how dare they forget us, was the mantra of the Pytronians. There was some agreement amongst the gods regarding humanity's indifference to magic. Many aspects of human history made no sense at all once the gods of magic were removed. How did humans explain the existence of pyramids around the world? The Egyptian, Mesopotamian, and the Mayan pyramids were among the most well-known, but in truth, pyramids were spread across the globe. There were pyramids in Nubia, Peru, and China, for example. There was no current human explanation as to how these ancient people from disparate parts of the world developed the technology and the means to erect these magnificent structures. Humans had been developing wondrous and mystifying inventions for eons using advanced mathematical formulas that were in direct contrast to their knowledge as a species. Consider the Mayan calendar. Humans today could not explain how the Mayans acquired the depth of cosmological awareness required to create the calendar with its level of cosmic precision. And what about early irrigation systems that would not come close to being duplicated for millennia? The Indus Valley civilization was using bathrooms, public baths, and underground drainage around the year 3000 BCE, a feat that modern civilizations had yet to accomplish. The philosophies of the Greeks and the science of the alchemists were gifts from the gods. How did humans think they discovered fire or learned to farm? Agriculture had been a gift from Etheria herself for the betterment of humanity. And what of writing or the words of Shakespeare? The gods suggested the idea of writings to humans so that they could record their history and guided humans on their path to understanding the cosmos. Their most recent contribution had been the telescope from which Galileo first observed the heavens. The Ethyrian god of air appeared to the man in a dream, and upon waking, Galileo had the knowledge required to build the first true telescope. Galileo was currently writing his revolutionary theory that planets in our solar system orbit the sun, but the Christian man was unwilling to accept that the seeds of his knowledge were planted by the gods of magic. The last human who acknowledged the influence of the gods had been Leonardo da Vinci. The religious factions of his time did not allow Da Vinci to publicly admit the involvement of the gods, but the man gave thanks to the magical beings in private. Both the Ethyrians and the Pytronians had tried various acts of magic to regain the devotion of humanity. The Ethyrians produced great crop seasons and guided humans in the invention of machines that would improve their quality of life. They helped humans design ships that could travel the oceans and presses that enabled communication to the masses. The Pytronians used a destructive approach so that the humans would know that the gods were angry. They created massive storms in some areas and droughts in others. They plagued humans with diseases for which they had no cure and whispered words of war and discord in the ears of those in power. But this was all for no avail. Humans had abandoned the gods. The names by which they were once known were nothing but myths and legends now. The sun god Ra and his wife Osiris, goddess of the moon, meant nothing to them. Zeus, god of the sky, and Odin, Thor, and Loki, the Old Norse gods, were long forgotten. Unlike humans, the love and loyalty of the witches had remained constant. The witches were the children of the gods, created with the hearts of humans and the magic of the gods coursing through their veins. The gift of magic permitted a witch entry into the realm of the gods. A witch's soul lived on after his or her death, meaning that once the body had died, a witch could decide to stay in the realms of the gods or return to Earth and be reborn. Thank you.